Yes, guys, and welcome back to episode 15 of the Reprogram Your Mind podcast. As always, I massively appreciate you being here, and I'm grateful for you giving me your time, which is your most valuable commodity. So building on from last week's session when we discussed how you are the creator of your destiny, and that's the most powerful way that you can start every day by reminding yourself of this. Today, we're going to talk about how your energy creates your reality. So this has been a huge lesson for me over time, and when it's working for you, it's the most powerful thing in the world. When it's working against you, it's literally the most destructive thing in the world. So the energy that you give out and broadcast into the world or the universe, dependent on what level you want to look at it, what you are always going to receive back. So this is why you often see either couples in a relationship, or maybe a couple of friends, or a couple of business partners, or even groups of people, sometimes even within a group fitness environment like CrossFit, where they are literally bouncing off each other. You see couples in love and bouncing off each other's energy. You see people training together. You see people playing together in sports. Another great example would be, when a team is in sync, they're the most powerful team in the world. When they're not, they're the most destructive thing in the world. So, people feed off of each other's emotions. They feed off of happiness and positivity. But unfortunately, this is why you also see couples who are sat in pubs and cafes or in cars in silence at each other's throats, ranting, arguing. And again, the same with friendships and, as I said, destructive teams who are literally feeding off each other's negativity. I see this all the time when I go out running and walking. Like, there's literally, couple of female friends or male friends, it's not whether about being male or female, and they're walking around and you can see they're just like ranting about the world, angry at everything, angry about immigration, about the cost of living, about the government, about the NHS, about their kids, about their partner, about their boss, about everything. And people actually plan to do this. That's the crazy thing. Oh, do you want to go and get a bottle of wine in and we'll put the world to rights? Or, do you want to go for a walk and we'll just get everything off our chest? And yes, sometimes you need to offload, but do you ever really have one of those conversations and get to the end of it and think, God, I'm so glad we had that argument. I'm so glad we ranted. I'm so glad we went for a walk around Rother Valley and slagged everyone and everything off into the middle of existence to make ourselves feel better. I very much doubt that's happened. So, as I've always said, your environment is everything. That's who you listen to, who you spend time with, what you watch, and everything in between. So, that's another session. But today we're going to talk about why your energy attracts and creates your reality. Now, even think of this in terms of social media, right? If you're not already, I share loads of content on Instagram every single day in regards to fitness, nutrition, mindset, but predominantly ADHD and fat loss. Now, think of life as like an algorithm. All I talk about generally on my social media now is ADHD, mindset, fitness, and positivity. What do I attract? What does Instagram put my stuff in front of? People that are into positivity, people that are into personal development, people that are into growth, people that have ADHD, and people that have fat loss. It's exactly the same. Like, life is an algorithm. Energy is reality. Whatever you are giving out, you're going to get more of. So energy literally makes up everything and everyone. Everything in the universe is energy vibrating at different frequencies, just like a radio frequency. And I've discussed this in previous trainings, but it's the most powerful thing you'll ever realize. There's a full training on this with inside the Mindset Mastery members portal. You can see the link across the screen here if you want to go and check that out. Likewise, there's also loads on Instagram, as I discussed. So you can tune into depressing FM, or you can tune into positivity FM. It's the same as watching a TV channel. You can watch BBC positivity, or you can watch BBC negativity. Whichever one you get, you're going to get more of those frequencies. You can tune into Warrior FM or you can tune into Victim FM. But the frequency that you choose to tune into or out of will define the energy that you attract or repel, and will define the life that you live. So, this is physics. This is the air that you're breathing, the thoughts that you're thinking. They're all patterns of the energy that you're attracting. And whatever we give out in any circumstances, whether it's internal or external, then we're going to get more of. So energy with similar frequencies, so positivity or negativity, will always attract and resonate with each other. And this is why I made the decision last week. And this might sound very, very harsh if you're watching this, but I took it from a very successful man who's my mentor. So, I'm also a big fan of the phrase that success leaves clues. If you want to know how to do something, go and study someone who's already done what you want to do. Now, I made a decision that I will have an absolute zero tolerance for victims in my life. For people who want to blame, complain, and justify and play the victim. I will not allow that energy to rot my brain, because that's what it will do. Every day you have to imagine, right? Let's treat this bottle of water as a energy bandwidth bottle, okay? Every day it starts full, and you have all this positive energy to give out, as long as you do what we did in last week's podcast. But throughout the day, dependent on either what you vibrate out and get back or what you allow in your life, this will deplete. So if you dive straight into social media, destructive emails, open your messages, start fighting fires, start being reactive, it's just going to start depleting. If you get drawn into conversations about blame, complaining, justifying, negativity, self-loathing, all that type of stuff, again, whether it's internal or external, it's going to start to deplete until there's none left. So the reason why I will not allow that in my life is I need to protect my energy, because the energy that I give out will be the energy that I attract. So I can't allow people to take mine away from me. Now, this is why we should surround ourselves with happy, positive people only. People who are action takers, people who don't blame, complain and justify, people who take radical responsibility, people who take ownership, people that understand as long as they continue to blame, they're always going to stay stuck. Now, of course, this isn't reality as you might know it. It's not going to be your reality every single day. We're still going to have slip-ups. We're still going to have bad days. Every single one of us is human. But that's when you need someone to snap you out of it, not someone to build on it. So if you're feeling that way, the last thing on this fucking earth that you want to do is go and hang around with someone else who's feeling that way, and AKA go for a walk and put the world to rights. You need someone to pull you out of it. You need someone who's going to say, no, that's not okay. It's not okay for you to be feeling like this. I won't allow you to feel like this. Let's go and do this. What can we do right now to feel positivity? Not let's feed off of each other's bullshit about whose fault it is and why the world's wrong for us, or why the world's not working for us. Now, you may also think sometimes that you're being kind by lending someone your ear, by be willing to listen to their story, the story they've probably already told you 25 times. You're not. You're feeding the problem. You're keeping them tuned in to that frequency. This is why, sometimes you have to be harsh as well. Like, I've worked with a lot of addicts over the past, whether it's been drugs, drinks, alcohol, sex, pornography, gambling, people that are addicts, and their partners allow them to get away with it time and time and time and time again. That partner is as much as a problem as the addict is, because they're becoming an enabler. Like, this is why I'm not really into therapists or counselors, because what do they want to do? Give you an opportunity to talk about your depressing problem again. And what does that do? It brings it to the amygdala, it brings it to the prefrontal cortex, and all of a sudden you're feeding on a frequency of trauma and depression. When you can tune out and tune into a frequency of prosperity, fulfillment, and the future. So very often, if you think you're being a good friend, you're actually not. Now, controlling your emotion is the most important aspect of life. I'm going to say that again because it's so important. Learning to control your emotions, irrelevant of what's happening outside of you, is one of the most important aspects of life. And I wrote this down and it's so powerful. Emotion. Emotion, the E is energy in motion. So energy in motion means how you're moving through life. So when you feel frustrated, stressed, depressed, angry, afraid, you're broadcasting that energy into the quantum field. You're tuning into that radio station or TV channel, and you're going to get more and more and more pictures of the same until it becomes your dominant thought, until it becomes where you live. And that is a one-way road to depression and learned hopelessness. You will always get more, and you will attract people and experiences that match that frequency. So if you want to attract a load of people with depression, go talk about your depression. If you want to attract a load of people that are afraid, go and talk about your fears. If you want to attract more negativity, frustration, anxious and worry, go and attract more people of that, because that's what you will do with your thoughts, right? Whatever you are giving out, whether it's people or experiences, will always match your frequency. Now, let's flip this around right now. So when you consciously choose to generate, and I paused there and wrote this down. The key is in the words. When you consciously choose to generate, consciousness, choosing, generate, in control. Feelings of gratitude, happiness, love, kindness, empathy, prosperity, positivity, abundance, and everything in between. You are broadcasting a completely different signal into the quantum field. And guess what? You will attract more experiences and more people of those exact emotions, which are energy in motion, which is why controlling your energy is the most important thing in the world, because your energy creates your reality. Stop fitting in with other people's energy. Stop allowing bad energy in your life and create your own, because when you do, you'll create more people and experiences. We did a huge client event in the Lake District this weekend. People fed off of each other's positivity. In logistical terms, it was an absolute car crash due to the wonderful British weather. We had to cancel the breath work. We had to cancel the meditation because of the rain. But guess what? Everyone pulled together. Everyone still did the cold water therapy. Everyone still got in the lake. Everyone made the best of it because they fed off of each other's frequencies. Okay, so it would only have taken 2 or 3 people to just completely start moaning, blaming and complaining, and everyone would have resided towards that. But it all starts with you. You have to control yours first, or you will just end up tuning in to whatever frequency is around you. So that's why it's consciously choose and generate. When you consciously choose and generate your emotions, you will always be in control. And as I said last week, you are the creator of your destiny. We're going to come on to another affirmation at the end. But by now, having watched episode 14, you should be waking up in the morning, having 10 deep breaths, affirming to yourself that you are the creator of your destiny, that you're the master of your destiny, that you're the author of your story, that you're the director of the movie where you're playing the leading role in your own life, not a fucking extra. And then you should be asking yourself, how does that person show up today? So, you know, how many of you have actually done that so far? Or are you just watching these podcasts and then going back to other people's frequencies? Allow that to sit with you for a minute, because you should be saying that. I am the creator of my destiny. You should be saying that now after 10 breaths before you've even got out of bed. Because guess what? When we move on to these energetic frequencies as well, and understanding that your energy creates your reality, we'll understand that when you broadcast gratitude, happiness, love, empathy, positivity, abundance, you, yes, you, little old you and little old me, you become a magnet for people and experiences. You become a magnet for gratitude, happiness, empathy, love, fulfillment, prosperity, and most of all, opportunity. Because your vibe and your energy will always, always, always attract your tribe. So what energy are you choosing today? What frequency are you tuning into? What are you going to give out? Because the reality is most people's energy, especially today on a Monday morning, because they don't like their relationship or their career, so they have Friday euphoria and Monday morning blues. They live for the weekend so they can escape life for 48 hours before going back to their soul-sucking existence. And then they have Monday morning blues. So their energy is horrific. All they do all day, every day is blame, moan, complain, justify, and then question why they have a shitty life, a shitty job, a shitty relationships, and a shitty life. Shitty success. Shitty. Because they attracted it with the energy that they're giving out. If you give out shit, you're going to attract shit. If you give out gold, you're going to attract gold. But you have to understand, your energy attracts your life. The people that are in your life because of your energy. And as I said last week, you are the creator of your destiny. It's why happy, focus-driven people are attracted to happy, driven, focused people. And they tend to avoid negative people like the plague because they don't want their energy. So just like you're the creator of your destiny, you're also the creator of your thoughts, and you're also the creator of your energy. So whatever you would create, as I said, you have to take this away. This is why I'm repeating it so many times. Whatever you create, you'll attract. Not the world, not the people in it, not the past, not situation, not circumstance, you. Whatever you create, you'll attract. And you create your energy and your circumstances and your frequency because you are the master of your destiny, as you should have been stating every morning for the last 7 days at least. So we can't go through life being constantly reactive and allowing our energy to shift or change dependent on what's going on around us. That is what most people do. If you react, you lose. Again, go back to this weekend as an example. You could react to the weather and make it all about that and turn it into an absolute catastrophe, a crisis, a waste of time, or you could do exactly the same event, irrelevant of the weather, because you didn't allow the circumstances to change your energy. If you change your energy dependent on what's going on around you, trust me, you're fucked. Because you are handing over the power. You are handing over the keys. You're saying, if I'm around happy, positive people, I'll be happy. If good things happen in the world, I'll be happy. If I'm with negative people, I'll be negative. If bad things happen, I'll be sad. You're basically saying whatever's going on around me will control how I feel. When you can consciously choose to generate how you feel and what energy you produce. Be the lighthouse. Be the beacon. Be the leader, not the follower. Now, if you're a person who is experiencing this and you just generally react and feel depending on what's going on around you, then that's what we need to correct before anything else. Because, you know, so many people, 1 minute they're positive, the next minute they're negative. 1 minute they're hopeful, the next minute they're disappointed. 1 minute they're happy, 1 minute they're sad. 1 minute they're full of confidence, the next minute they're full of self-doubt. 1 minute they're calm, 1 minute they're angry. Why? Why are they experiencing all those spectrum of emotions? Emotion, energy in motion. Because they are responding to what's going on around them, not creating it. So whatever circumstance happens will be dependent on how they feel. You can choose how you feel dependent on what's going on around you. And it's in that reel that I did when I did the huge run for 100-mile run for Lacey and John that Jason, their dad, created for me. And he says time and time again, I used to watch that reel every single morning when I was training for the 100-mile ultra. Every morning before I got out of bed. And this is why I can remember it over and over and over again. And it becomes a thought, becomes a belief, becomes how I behave. When you can't control what's happening to you, but you can control how you respond to it, that's where your power's at. I've heard it 1,000 times and I live by that. When I can't control the weather, but I can control how I respond to it. I can't control other people, but I can control how I respond to them. I can't control the economy, the government, but I can control how I respond to it. I can't control how my partner shows up in the world, but I can control how I respond to it. I can't control Logan's mood, but I can control how I respond to it. And I can either react if someone gets angry with anger, or I can choose to respond with calmness. However I choose to respond will be what they get back. Have you ever noticed how if kids get angry and they're naughty and you shout and you shout at them, guess what they shout back? Because we're all mirrors. If you sat them down and calmly said, listen, what's wrong? Why are you behaving like this? Let's just have a cuddle and have a chat about it. Oh, actually, Daddy, I just wanted some love and attention. Oh, I'm sorry, I should have been giving you that. I've been distracted. Let's go and do this. If you respond to anger with anger, you're going to get more anger. If you respond to depression with more depression, you're going to get more depression. It's a perfect mirror, I promise you. But listen to this line, right? I know you guys have got lots of things tattooed on the backs of your eyelids by now. You've essentially got a journal, right? But listen to this. Inconsistent energy will create an inconsistent reality. Like, if you take one thing away from this podcast, make it that. Inconsistent energy will create an inconsistent reality. So affirm right now, just last week, my energy creates my reality. Say it out loud. Say it with conviction. Mean it. Because when you do, you're acknowledging that you have the power to choose and control your internal state, regardless of external circumstances. So I'm choosing how I feel today. I choose love. I choose positivity. I choose fulfillment. I choose gratitude. I choose abundance. It doesn't matter what the fuck is going on around me in this world. I choose those because I'm in control. And as long as I continue to choose those, I will attract more of those. And eventually I'll be that tuned into the frequency that everything else will just be tuned out. And you can do the same, because what you're doing by affirming this, just like last week, is you're declaring that you don't need anything outside of yourself to feel happy. I feel happy, full stop. I am positive, full stop. I am grateful, full stop. I am enough, full stop. I am love, full stop. Not I will allow myself to feel love if X happens. Not I will allow myself to be happy if I make this amount of money. I will allow myself to have a level of self-love if I achieve this. What you're doing is you're giving away the power that you were born with that's inside you. So you can feel any way you choose to feel. Because your energy creates your reality. Your focus creates your reality. Your environment creates your reality. And your thoughts create your reality. I've said this so many times. We control the thoughts once we get a handle on it. And every thought will lead to a belief. Every belief will lead to how you behave. How you behave will lead to your reality, your personality, your personal reality, your experience of life. Everything in life is showing up dependent on the energy you're giving out and how you're behaving. So these affirmations remind you that you're always broadcasting a signal through your thoughts, your feelings, your actions, and your words. But we have to do this first thing in the morning, or you will just wake up, as I said, and start being a walking doorbell or a walking alarm clock for other people's agendas, other people's emotions. You'll be fighting fires. You'll just essentially be a pawn in the game of life where you're like, whatever's happening around me, that's going to control how I feel, how I act, and how I behave. That's a one-way road to nowhere, because the universe and the people in it are always responding to your signal. Nobody wants to be around Miss Misery Guts. Nobody wants to be around Miss Self-Doubt, Miss Loathing, Miss Blaming her past. No one wants to be around Mr. Negativity, Mr. Angry, Mr. Frustrated, Mr. Blame, Mr. Justify. People don't want to be around them. So if you're being that person, you're only going to attract more of that same person. And that's a one-way road to learned hopelessness, negativity, and depression. But it all starts with you. You have to understand that. You have to understand that it all comes from internal. As I said, everything that you need is already inside you. And this is what these affirmations do. You're declaring that you don't need anything outside of you to change. You're acknowledging the power to choose and control your internal state, regardless of external circumstances. That could literally be an affirmation in itself. In fact, I'm going to add that to my affirmations list. I have the power to choose and control my internal state, regardless of the external circumstances and what's going on around me. So when in the unhappiest of situations, I can still choose to be happy. If you really struggle with this, a great book to read is Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. If he can find meaning in a concentration camp, pretty sure you can in the daily life that we should all be privileged and grateful to live. And again, remember, inconsistent energy creates inconsistent reality, but it all begins with you. You create your energy. Don't give over control to anyone else. So now let's fast forward a little bit to make this reality. So think about those times in life when everything just flowed effortlessly. I'm not there at the minute. I'm always real with you guys. I would rate my energy and everything somewhere between a 5 and a 6 at the minute. I'm journaling it daily. I'm working on it. I'm trying to improve. I'm looking at who I need to cut out, who I need to spend more time of, what I need to do more of, what I need to do less of, and everything in between. But there has been times in my life when you guys that have followed me for a long time, when everything just went right for me. I've won Paul Mort's Elite X Man of the Year out of every business owner in the UK. I was stacking up huge financial wins. I was running ultra marathons like they were just a 10K. Everything was flowing effortlessly. I had the car, I had the house, everything was on fire. And then sometimes it's just like treading through mud. Nothing will ever go right for me. You see this in sports, right? I think I don't know a lot about football. I don't particularly like it, if I'm honest. Sorry, guys. Harry Kane, I remember seeing it in one of the World Cups or the President. He just couldn't score a goal. It was like he couldn't hit a cow's arse with a banjo. And yet there's been times when he scores goals every single game. That's coming down to energy. That's coming down to how he's operating. That's coming down to where his mind's at. And mine's exactly the same. But when we're in this flow, whether it's in business, in our relationship, in sports, money, finance, everything, when we're in that thing when everything's flowing effortlessly and you're saying things like, Jesus Christ, I need to buy a lottery ticket because everything's just so good. Like you feel like you are golden balls or golden beep, but you can't do anything wrong. That's when you're vibrating at your highest energetic state. You feel good, you feel driven, you feel focused. Life's just easy. Like you get out of bed and you just feel inspired, you feel present, you feel engaged, you're just loving life. It's like nothing could go wrong. And that's the energy that will open doors for you. That's the energy that will change your life. And that's the energy, if you're willing to take ownership right now, that you can create every single morning. But you've got to do the work. You're not going to create that energy by getting up in the morning, getting out of bed and checking fucking Instagram. Trust me. Or diving into your WhatsApp to see what clients have messaged you. Or going on to Instagram to see how many people liked your story. Or going onto Facebook and getting involved in a rant about immigration. You're not going to create the day of dreams by doing that. You're not going to create a healthy relationship with your partner by constantly pulling up what's wrong with them and what they do and how they don't do this and they don't do that. Like, you're not going to open the doors of opportunity by talking about lack, scarcity, and struggle. You will literally keep them doors shut. But every day, your energy will open doors for you. It will start new relationships. It will bring good things into your life. But you have to realize you control it. So just like you should now be stating, I am the creator of my destiny. I want you to say, my energy creates my reality. Because if you're now doing this, link session 14 and session 15 together. 10 breaths before I've got out of bed. I am the creator of my destiny. I am the creator of my destiny. I am the leading man in my movie, and that movie is a blockbuster. I'm the author of my book. I'm the driver of the car. I'm in control of everything that happens or doesn't happen. And I understand that my energy creates my reality. I understand that everything that's inside of me is all that I need. I understand that inconsistent energy will always create an inconsistent reality. You are shifting and setting your energetic tone for an electric day. You're tuning into the radio station of success, abundance, love, prosperity, gratitude, and everything in between. And you have the opportunity to do that every morning. But you're going to probably have to set some reminders to start with, because trust me, this fucking disco magic is not just going to happen by rolling out of bed, flipping onto your phone and going downstairs. You create it. You are the creator of your destiny. So choosing to be conscious about this signal that you broadcast and the vibrations and the energy that you want to attract is one of the most powerful things you can ever do. So again, I want you to do it with me now. I want you to take a deep breath and another deep breath and another deep breath. Fill your lungs with oxygen. Fill your lungs with energy. Fill your mind with energy. And say it out loud. My energy creates my reality. Inconsistent energy will always create an inconsistent reality. Say it with conviction. Feel the energy. And then just ask yourself one question. What is the energy that I want to broadcast today? What is the energy that I want to attract today? Who are the people that I want to attract? Maybe it's positivity, love, success, abundance, trust. Maybe you want to attract trust, happiness, kindness, compassion. Whatever it is, take 2 to 3 minutes to just embody the emotions, the energy in motion that you want to feel, that you want to broadcast, and that you want to attract. Feel it in every cell of your body. Remember when you last felt this way. Where were you? Who were you with? What was going on around you? Because when you do this, and when you can maintain this energy, irrelevant of what's happening around you, that's when you'll go to new levels of the game. Like I said, when you can't control what's happening, but you can control how you respond to it, that's where your power is at. And I'm going to go back and just repeat these couple of lines once more time, because I just want you to remember these last things for me to finish on today. If you've been loving the podcast, go and check out my Instagram, LeeFreemanUK_, and also check out www.mindsetmasterwithlee.com. We currently have a free 7-day trial for you to check out 50 plus. Well, it will be 50 by the time you watch this. I'm recording the 50th training today of hundreds more trainers that will help you understand this. But these are the main reminders from today's training, and these are affirmations in yourself. I didn't plan these as affirmations at the beginning. The only affirmation was my energy controls my reality, but I want you to remember these key things. So grab a pen. Remember, the pen is mightier than the sword. Grab a piece of paper, pause if you need to, and write this down. When I consciously choose to generate feelings of gratitude, happiness, love, positivity, and abundance, I am broadcasting a completely different signal, and I will attract only people and experiences of this type. The next thing I want you to write down is inconsistent energy will create an inconsistent reality. I want you to affirm that one right now. And the final one that I want you to do is that you need to understand, when we do this, you are acknowledging your power to choose and control your internal state, regardless of external circumstances. So that's an affirmation in itself. I, Lee Freeman, choose to control my internal state, regardless of external circumstances. Because when you do this, you are declaring you don't need anything outside of yourself to change. That's ownership, that's responsibility, and that's broadcasting the signal that is going to change your life and attract everything that you want effortlessly without you having to chase it. And practicing this and these affirmations, just like last week, as soon as you get up, will literally change the chemistry of your body and your mind, psychologically and physiologically. So today, I want you to get clear on what signal you're broadcasting with every single piece of your body. So the universe will respond to you with a matching experience. Guys, I love you all. See you next week.